I'm a guy called Space. This is a View from Space. That's all it is. On AM 640 Talk Radio, I can find out what's on your mind if you email space@640toronto.com or space@640toronto.com. This is the megalomaniac, I should say, ambition of a revived Merovingian empire rather than a revived Roman empire. I think many people need to rethink the popular doctrines of modern prophecy teachers who teach that the final beast system will be a revived Roman empire. This error is built on a faulty exposition of the four empires represented in Nebuchadnezzar's image in Daniel 2, chapter 2, the King James Version of the Bible, and the four beasts of Daniel 7, which are construed as referring to the same world empires. A closer look at Daniel 2, 7, Revelation 13 tells you otherwise. Daniel 2, lines 32 to 42, describes the Babylonian, Persian, Greek, and Roman empires. Daniel 2:38 states that the head of gold of Nebuchadnezzar's image was the existing Babylonian Empire. O King, thou art this head of gold. All of the world empires described in Daniel 7 are future empires according to verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth, whereas Daniel 2 identifies three future and one existing empires, the Babylonian. Daniel 7 lines 3 through 6 must refer to four future world empires. It states, and four great beasts came up in the sea, diverse from one another. The first was a lion, had an eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. It was lifted from the earth and made to stand upon its feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus to it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of its four wings a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. It's interesting the Royal Arms of England actually displays the rampant lion as its symbol. The family in Buckingham Palace has the rampant lion on its heraldry, made to stand upon its hind feet as a man, which is also the symbol of the Merovingian dynasty, along with, of course, the unicorn. The eagle's wings were plucked in Daniel 7:4 is an obvious reference to the United States, whose government from its inception was the vehicle through which the English Freemasons planned to establish the New World Order. According to Dagobert's Revenge, the bear is the symbol of Set, or Satan, and is fittingly displayed on the family crest of the family of Plantin, a Merovingian clan. The Merovingian bloodline produced the last two Grand Masters of Pierre de Sinon, the ones who began the Freemasons, and the Knights Templar. In this book, Outer Gateways, Kenneth Grant stated, in the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, the authors reproduced the family crest of the Plantard family, the contemporary representative of which was, until recently, the Grand Master of the Priory of Sion, an order which, according to Lincoln, one of the authors of the Holy Blood, Holy Grail, dominated the order of the Knights Templar and a few other highly influential institutions which, at certain periods of history, included the Vatican. The crest, which supplies the key to the Typhonian Draconian, is right now represented by the Merovingian bloodline and the Order of Sion. It uses as its symbols the Typhonian line of descent, 2 bears, 11 bees, and the fleur-de-lis. The 2 bears symbolize the mother Typhon and her son Set. In the Typhonian tradition, the bear is the constellation of Ursa Major, the star constellation. The stars must be aligned in a specific way in order for Set, Satan, to be properly invoked. To the Priory of Sion, the secret occult organization dedicated to preserving the Merovingian bloodline and keeping it a secret, the bear was an animal of the goddess Diana, Queen of Heaven. According to Lynn Pickett and Clive Prince, the authors of the Templar Revelation, the Merovingian kings, from their founder Merovito Clovis, who converted, by the way, to Christianity in 496, were pagan kings of the cult of Diana. Pickett and Prince got this information from the dossier secrets of the Priory of Sion. The leopard is associated with Mount Hermon, where the fallen angel descended, who were the real ancestors of the Merovingian bloodline. Of course, if you're a regular listener of A View from Space on AM 640 Talk Radio, you'll know that these aliens from outer space came to Earth and mated with the human women and offspring, were the giants, who became all of the characters in Greek and Roman and Egyptian mythology. These bloodlines bred into one another and became the so-called half-men, half-gods who rule our world today and always have. This is hinted at in many sources. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse, with me from Lebanon. Look from the mount top of Ammon, from the top of Shinir, and Hermon, from the lion's dens, from the mountains of the leopards. It's from the Song of Solomon, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children with them. The same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. That's Genesis 6, lines 1 through 3. Various sources agree that Mount Hermon was the home of the ancient gods. How about this? Wicked demons lived in Mount Hermon. A curious reference in Enoch, chapter 6, line 6, says that the wicked angels descended on the summit of the mountain and named it Hermon. There's your proof. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw them, handsome and beautiful daughters, and desired them. And they were altogether 200. And they descended into Argos, which is the summit of Hermon, and they called the mount Armon, for they swore and bound one another by a curse. That's in Enoch, chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. Hittite and biblical records support the use of Hermon as dwelling place of Baal, and Baal Hermon, the ancient demonic gods. The beasts of Daniel 7 are also found in the composite beasts which John saw rising out of the sea in his vision described in Revelation 13, lines 1 through 2. Remember that the Bisti Neptunus, or beast of the sea, which is believed to be ever incarnate in the dynasty of ancient kings, and whose symbol was a fish, clearly identifies the mystical Merovingian fisher kings, who blasphemously claimed to be of the bloodline of Jesus Christ and the house of David. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast, which I saw, was like unto a leopard, and his feet were the feet of a bear, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Since Revelation 13 is pretty much identical to Daniel 7, future kingdoms are also symbolically represented. And like Daniel 7, Revelation 13 describes in symbols the British Israel movement as the beast that rises up out of the sea. But modern prophecy teachers have prevented the idea of beast kingdom as the Merovingian dynasty by wrongly correlating the empires of Daniel 7 with those of Daniel 2. It's a misinterpretation of Daniel 7 that's been a huge factor in perpetuating a general ignorance of the Merovingian conspiracy. Space, back with more. On the other side, this is A View from Space on AM 640. This is Talk Radio.